How do you plan out your week? Is your week scripted out so you know what's going to happen, how you're going to continue to move forward in your life in all aspects? Or are you just continuing to go through life at someone else's will? Not necessarily someone else's will just controlling you, but letting the agendas of other people control you, letting the goals of other people control you. Maybe this is a boss. Maybe this is your spouse. Maybe this is someone else of just the urgency of everything in life that's happening on you right now that's distracting you from who you actually want to be. Maybe you found yourself selling yourself short of the dreams and the visions and the values and the ideas that you actually want to have in your life, and you're not sure how to be able to tap into that, how to be able to get that direction or that focus that you're actually searching for in your life. We run into this a lot with survivors, and when we're working with different people of trying to help them understand, like, hey, there is a direction that you want to go. Like there's something that you want to be able to work on, that you want to be able to help guide you to this place, whatever it might be, of who you actually want to be. But it's hard. It's difficult. So I want to break down a little bit, at least like talking through this concept of planning out your week, but also share a little bit of how I plan out my week, just to give you an idea of what it looks like and what you see, whether you're watching some of my stories on some of the social media platforms like Instagram, where you can actually see where I'm either checking stuff off or showing you, hey, this is what I'm doing on a day-to-day basis, to try to help explain this is how I live, and this is what helps compel not just me, but hundreds of other people in action to actually move forward with the decisions that they make, to the actions they need to do, to the accountability that needs to happen in their lives for them to continue to grow, develop, and change into the person they're called to be. For me, I focus on setting up my week at the beginning of the week, so before I even hit Monday, and I take time on Sunday to do what's called a general's tent. Now, for me, general's tent is this aspect where I am reviewing the past week. I'm reviewing how the past week went in all aspects of my life, in all aspects of the goals that I set for the past week. So I review of how did I actually show up, like physically. Like how did I show up with my workout routine? How I've been showing up and tracking some of the diet stuff that I've been working on to be able to lower my body fat percentage. Like how did I actually show up, and did I do the things I said I was going to do in terms of my body? Then I also look in my aspect of being, and being is talking about my connection to God, my mental, my emotional state, all these different pieces of like, did I actually meditate this past week? What did I get out of that? How did that look? Did I progress in that? Did I learn something from it? What did I write down? What did I journal from? So I take those two aspects and I'm looking at the past week being like, hey, did I say I did what I was going to do? And what did I learn from it? And then we start to look of like, do I need to pivot? Do I need to course correct? Do I need to change anything so that I can make sure I'm hitting those goals that I want to hit from this past week? Well, we do that in body and being, and we do that in balance. Balance, then we're talking about relationships. Did I have date night with my wife? Now, have I been connected to her? Like, is there this engagement there of us praying together, of us talking together? Like, what is the level of depth? What's the things that I've learned there? Also with my daughter, like, how am I spending intentional time with her throughout the week? How am I like helping engage with her? Whether that's playing Legos right now at the stage that she's at, or taking her on a date that we do every other week. Like trying to get to a place of saying like, hey, how am I showing up? And this whole place is just trying to get an evaluation of what happened over the past week. Then I also do that in business of like, how did I show up and what am I learning about business? How am I applying it to business? How am I communicating to my team? How am I interacting with my clients? How am I actually learning and applying and changing who I am to continue to grow to be the best version of myself? Not for everybody else, but for me to continue to grow to be the best version of myself. Okay. So really like beginning of the week. So I do this on Sundays. I take a look at the past week. So take a look at body, being, balance, and business and see, hey, what has been the things I said I was going to do? Did I actually do them? If I didn't, what do I need to bring to this week to say, oh, I need to do this to make sure that it actually gets done? Because I've already committed that I was going to do this. So then we move into the coming week. Okay. So I'm still on Sunday, but I'm planning ahead then. So from Sunday, then I move into planning ahead for the next week, and I start scripting out the whole week. Now, for me, I have particular focuses of what I'm going to do on a day-to-day basis. And we use this software inside of the Warrior app that we use inside of Warrior Community. We use inside of our Thriver community, our Thriver Mastermind, and also Clarity Challenge now has access to certain levels of the Warrior app. But we use this tool in there called the Door. The Door starts to hone it in to make sure that I understand what are the 4 most important things that I need to do that particular day, that I need to do to make sure this has to happen for me to continue to move in the direction that I need to move. So like for me, there might be a couple things that need to happen this particular day for me to continue down the path of how I'm showing up for my body or of how I'm showing up for my wife, for my daughter. And so I script those out. And so we script them out at the beginning of the week to be able to say, hey, each day throughout this week, Monday through Friday, I've got 4 things that I'm going to do. Now, is there going to be more things than that? Yes, obviously. My schedule a lot of times is really packed. That's why even when I record these videos, it's typically like 6 a.m. in the morning. Okay, so my schedule's normally packed, but I know out of everything that I have, there's certain things that are important. Now, if you guys have ever seen the like graph, it's like be like a 4-square graph. Okay, so it's got 4 squares, and it talks to this aspect of what is urgent versus what is important, and it labels it all out. So you have like something that's down at the bottom that's like urgent, not important. Then you have urgent, important. Then you have important and urgent, and then you have important, not urgent. Hopefully I didn't mess that up because I just did that all in my head. Okay, but the whole concept is we're looking for stuff throughout the week that is important. Now, important to who? Important for what? For me, it's important for me because it is actually directing me towards goals that I've actually already set. So I've already set goals in my body, being, balance, and business of where I want to be by the end of the year. And so as a result, everything is tracking to that. So you have like goals in your life right now where it's like maybe all over the place. All of mine are honed in on these exact targets. What that does is it means I'm going to be more effective in hitting those. I'm going to be more effective in going that direction and more effective moving intentionally to that every single day, no matter what. So with this, the whole aspect is I'm focusing on what am I doing now and what do I need to do that is important that's moving me towards that end goal. Now, this doesn't mean that it's just something that's urgent. So there's going to be urgent things in my life on a day-to-day basis that I'm going to be like, oh, I need to do this. Those are things I don't want to have on this list because those are things I'm going to do no matter what. And if I'm not careful, I fill up my day with just busy work and not stuff that is actually being effective in helping me be the person that I'm called to be. So instead, we focus on beginning of the week, setting up on Sunday. What are the things I need to do throughout this week? Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So 5 days and 4 things a day. 4 things that are important, but not necessarily urgent. In doing this, it helps align me and it forces urgency into the picture to something that I would normally push off a week, a month, or a couple months down the road because I'm like, it's not that big of a deal. But when I look at the long-term idea of where I want to be in a year with body, being, balance, and business, it matches up of like, oh, this is something I need to put into my life now. Now, this is not something that is natural. It's not like you're going to have people that are like, oh, this makes a ton of sense and I'm going to automatically do this. No, it's something that's been a learned behavior that I've been working on for years of trying to understand how do I actually do this so I'm actually moving forward. Now, over the past 6 months, 8 months, whenever this is recorded, like it's been a big journey and it's been a massive growth and a massive process. This is the process that we start to teach inside the Thriver community to have people understand how we can actually help accelerate them and move them faster. Because what we find is we find a lot of people that have a lot of goals or have no goals, but when they do have a lot of goals, a lot of times they're scattered. Like they're not specific and they're not directed, like SMART goals, right? Like they're not directed in the area that they want to go, and what they do on a day-to-day basis doesn't impact the goal. So we're talking and we're like looking through like some of their goals and some of the things they're doing on a day-to-day basis. And I'm like, how does this match up to the end goal? And they're like, well, like I thought, and I'm like, it doesn't. And so this is what helps actually align me and align a lot of other people in the direction that they want to go. Maybe you're listening to this today and you're like, I have no system. I have no plan to be able to keep me on track, to figure out what my goals are, to have a direction, to hone those in. Would love to be able to talk to you. because this is a process that we've been perfecting and we've been learning for a period of time, bringing in different models, modalities, and understanding how do we actually help you move from point A to point B. What it comes down to at the end of the day is one simple thing. That's what I've been talking to people recently about, and it's called a decision. A decision for you to take action. So for me, every week I have to make a decision to put things into action throughout the week, and then a decision through each day to actually capitalize on that and take action. Then I try to use it with accountability, whether I'm posting in some of the groups, whether I'm sharing, hey, these are the accomplishments, these are things that have happened, these things I said I was going to do that I didn't say I was going to do, back and forth to make sure that I stay on track, not just with other people, but especially with myself. Because that level of integrity, that level of accountability is needed for you to continue to grow and develop. For me, as I do that, it helps focus me and helps channel the right direction into the person that I want to be and the person that I'm called to be. If any of this resonated, or if you have any questions, leave a message down below or shoot me a message. Would love to be able to help you out. If you want to talk to me one-on-one, you can go to rawmotivations.com. I'd love to be able to walk you through this process and also invite you into some of the communities that we use on a day-to-day basis to help you continue to maximize who you're called to be.